Oh. 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 सदाशिव समारंभाम
सदाशिव समारंभाम
शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम
शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम
अस्मदाचार्य पर्यंताम
अस्मदाचार्य पर्यंताम
वंदे गुरु परंपराम
वंदे गुरु परंपराम
वसुदेव सुतं देवम
वसुदैव सुतं देवं
कंस चाणूरमर्दनम
संसचारुणमर्दनम
देवकी परमानंदम
देवकी परमानंदम
कृष्णं वंदे जगद्गुरुम
कृष्णं वंदे जगद्गुरु
श्रेयो हि ज्ञानम अभ्यासात्
श्रेयो हि ज्ञानम् अभ्यासा
ज्ञानाध्यानं विशिष्यते
ज्ञानाध्यानं विशिष्यते
ध्यानात् कर्मफल त्यागः
ध्यानः कर्मफलस्त्यागः
त्यागात् शांति अनंतरम
त्यागा शांति अनंतरम.
हरि ओम. So this is what we said. There are some new people. This is the 12th shlok of 12th chapter, and this is kind of summary of the entire Bhagavad Gita. If somebody wants to know what is in the Bhagavad Gita, so if we read 12th shlok of the 12th chapter and a little bit analyze it, then we get the entire essence what Bhagavad Gita is, what Bhagwan wants to tell us and Arjun in the Bhagavad Gita. So that's why before Bhagavad Gita Swadhyaya, if we read the shlok, that means we just say that this is the kind of the preface for the entire teaching. And it is a very profound message delivered there. अभ्यास से शुरू होता है जीवन और शांति पे खत्म होता है. That's it. वैसे भी that's the whole की काम शुरू करते हैं और शांति is the goal. So that's what that shlok is. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat and tyaga shanti anantaram. So that's the reason we can say that shlok summarizes the entire, not Bhagavad Gita teaching, but all the teaching comes into that way. So just this today morning, yesterday actually, or day before yesterday, one of our member in this Swadhyaya group, uh, Mohan Soneji, he is no more. Day before yesterday he passed away, and today was his funeral. He used to come to this, and his video was most of the time off, but he was, so Mohan Soneji name you could see in this. So he is no more. He was not very old, 78 years old, but just cardiac arrest or whatever, like something happened. So he is no more. So, and last week, one of very close person to me, like my elder brother, Dr. Nandkishore Sharma ji, he was president of BHP of America for some time. He was in New Hampshire. He also passed away last week, just like that, very sudden death. He was 80 years old, not too old. And Sharma ji, I had very good relationship. Whenever I used to meet national program VHPA, we used to discuss about Bhagavad Gita, and he was very adhyatmic, spiritually elevated person. So I used to discuss with him some darshan or philosophy or adhyatma. So he also last Friday, so almost a week. So two of very close people we lost, but that's the way. So, and then the question today we got is, somebody has asked, and a couple of people, not one or two people, that what should we convey when somebody dies, right? And that's from the Bhagavad Gita. There's the answer. So at the end we'll take that, and that time we'll have our our Shraddhanjali for these two people. At the end we'll do a few minutes of dhyan. But so we'll continue what we're teaching, and at the end we'll talk about that what Bhagavad Gita addresses, how it addresses Dehant. That's the word we'll see today. That's the focus, because that's what we miss, and we see that what Bhagwan, how he addresses and what should we do. So that will be at the end. So that's a question also what we should say. But we'll continue with our 5th chapter. The 4th chapter is over. Last time we saw that Shripalji, you were not there, but we finished it, and I had the recording. I posted almost all, but few of them left. So I'm going to post some of them. Yeah. It takes some time, like 40 minutes for that YouTube to scan through, and it's like smart. Unless if they find some controversial in that, then they reject your. So that's why it takes time. When I upload, it takes like 40 minutes. It's like almost 45 minutes recording, and then it comes like, oh, no conflict found, you can publish it. So it takes some time, but I'm going to finish this week, hopefully. So we finished fourth chapter. So again, second and third chapter are the teaching, basically. Whatever Bhagavan wanted to say to Arjun, he has conveyed in second and third chapter. So Jnana Yoga, second chapter, or we call it Sankhya Yoga or Sannyas, Sankhya or Jnana. And third chapter is Karma Yoga. Yoga is added later. Bhagavan didn't say yoga, but we added because there is a teaching there. So second and third chapter, Bhagavan has said whatever he wanted to say. Then a chance is given to Arjun. That's the teacher, right? So in the fourth chapter, Bhagavan continued and summarized, because Arjun asked that what is the difference between Gyan and Karma, and which is better, those kind of comparison. So fourth chapter is Bhagavan brought both together, second and third chapter teaching, Karma and Gyan, and that was the fourth chapter. So we saw like wonderful shlok, Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavir, Brahmagno, those kind of very popular things, they came in the fourth chapter. So Bhagavan explained, and then fourth chapter, Bhagavan, and so Bhagavan said sometime in the fourth chapter, like Brahmarpanam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. If all your karma has that thought of Brahman is Bhagavan or divinity, various names. If your karma is committed to that, while performing karma, you have that divine thought, then your karma is perfect. That's a karma yoga. At the same time, he says, Nahi jnanena sadrasham pavitram iha vidyate. There is no purifier in this world like jnana. So Arjun had he's saying that one time the Brahma Karma Samadhina, and then he's saying, Nahi jnanena sadrasham. So he brought both second and third chapter teachings and summarized his way. And at the end, fourth chapter, we'll read the last shlok and then continue. Last chapter, the shlok of the fourth chapter, and then we'll get into the fifth chapter. So last shlok of the fourth chapter, Bhagavan says, Tasmat Ajnanan Sambhutam
Ajnana Sambhutam
Ritastham Jnanasinatmanah
Yatatmat Jnanat Samatman
Chitvenam Sanchayam Yogam
Chitrayam Sanchayam Yogam
Uttishta Bharata.
Tishto Trishta Bharata.
So मैं हिंदी पढ़ता हूँ. हिंदी आपके पास है राम जी? मैं पढ़ूं?
आप पढ़िए.
I'll read Hindi for you.
Okay, ठीक है.
इसीलिए भरतवर्षीय अर्जुन, हृदय में स्थित इस अज्ञान से उत्पन्न अपने संशय का ज्ञान रूप तलवार से छेदन करके योग में स्थित हो जा और युद्ध के लिए खड़ा हो जा.
Therefore, cutting asunder with the sword of knowledge this ignorance-born doubt of the self dwelling in your heart, be established in yoga. Arise, O Bharata.
Right. So in this shlok, what Bhagavan is saying, use the jnana to destroy the sanshaya, which is the doubt, the confusion, the delusion you have. The jnana is the tool, and he is saying, jnana sinatmana. Sinatmana means the sword. So use the sword, the sharp, right, and cut that ajnana. But what at the same time, establish in yoga, karma yoga. See what he brought both together. Gyan said delusion khatam kar, and then establish in karma yoga and get up for the yuddha, because yuddha is a karma. So no, he is not giving the chance to Arjun कि अभी ज्ञान हो गया तो फिर कुछ अर्जुन ने सोचा कि भगवान बोलेंगे ठीक है कोई बात नहीं. No. He is not. It's like that's what the whole teaching is. Whenever we school maybe, like if I'm going to some science or art or whatever subject. So when I enter into medical or whatever school, undergraduate school, I know what I'm going to come out as an artist or as an engineer or doctor or lawyer. So the focus is there that I have to reach to that destination, or that whatever I want to be. So here Bhagwan is not allowing Arjun to कि अब मेरा ज्ञानवान हो गया संन्यास. No. You युद्ध तो तेरे को करना ही है. So that's what he brought together. Gyan use करके, use that as a sword, cut the doubts, the delusion, the confusion, and the identity crisis which Arjun had. He, am I? No, you are a Kshatriya, you are a Yodha, you have to finish the war. So he says, Yogam Sanshaya Yogam Uttisht Bharat. Establish in Karma Yoga using the Gyan and युद्ध के लिए खड़े हो जाओ. तब अर्जुन ने फिर सोचा कि यार ये फिर चक्कर वाला काम हो गया. अभी सब ठीक चल रहा था, फिर से भगवान ने दोनों ऑप्शन दे दिए. So now fifth chapter starts. So अथ पंचमोऽध्यायः. अर्जुन उवाच संन्यासं कर्मणां कृष्ण पुनर्योगं च संशसि यत् श्रेयस एतयोरेकं तन्मे ब्रूहि सुनिश्चितम्. हम जी आप म्यूट पे थे, पर एनीवे. सो उसके अर्जुन ने पूछा फिर से. अब नाउ अर्जुन गॉट अनदर चांस टू आस्क. ही सेज, हे कृष्ण, आप कर्मों के संन्यास की और निष्काम कर्मयोग की प्रशंसा करते हो. इन दोनों में एक जो निश्चय किया हुआ कल्याणकारक होवे उसको मेरे लिए कहिए.
Arjuna said, O Krishna, you praise renunciation of action and again yoga, which is the path of action. Tell me conclusively which of the two is better.
See, now he says, अरे आप अच्छा खासा चल रहा था, एकदम से फिर से दोनों मिक्स कर दिया. So now Arjun, but the good part in the Bhagavad Gita, till the end, Arjun had opportunity to ask questions, and Bhagwan is going to answer every time he is asking, and that's the teaching, and that's one reason Bhagavad Gita is relevant. I just give you the example of this morning. हमारा जो रथ, राम रथ चल रहा है. Some of you have seen that Ram Rath traveling across the country. It came to Pittsburgh. It was a wonderful feeling. So Amitabh Mittal, he is driving the Rath. He's General Secretary for VHP of America. And so he has taken a Ram Kaj. 60 days of off from the work and driving entire country is not easy. He has a couple of people with him, Tejal Ben वगैरह. तो मैंने अमिताभ जी को बोला कि भाई आप इतना काम कर रहे हो तो हम एक काम तो कर सकते हैं कि आपको I can do one thing sitting here. So every day 10 minutes when he's driving, when he's free, he calls me and I read Bhagavad Gita 10 minutes to him. एक श्लोक लेता हूँ and I just read to him. So it's good feeling. तो कल क्या हुआ, I just told him कि this is there is one shlok in Bhagavad Gita which is my prayer every day. Number of times I do that during the day. And बच्चों को भी बहुत याद करा देता हूँ जो हमारे बच्चों की क्लास है. 7th श्लोक of 2nd chapter, where Arjun has said that yat shreyasyat nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasте ham shadimam tam prapanna. I'm your shishya, tell me what is shreyas. And I said, this is a very good shlok. So he said that to his daughter. She's in college yesterday, and she said, wow, Dad, this is what I was looking for, this kind of prayer. So this is what Bhagavad Gita's beauty is. The 7th shlok of 2nd chapter, that's my prayer. And that's why Arjun has surrendered in that prayer. And that's where the teaching starts. So unless we surrender, we saw in this, there is a shlok in 4th chapter, right? If you want to learn, you have to surrender. That humility has to come. And the second thing is, you should find the right resource. That's it. आपको right resource अगर पता चल जाए, and then if you surrender, then the teaching will flow. Teaching will flow. So she said, oh, that's good, wonderful, Dad. This is what I was looking for, this kind of shlok where you're directly talking to the teacher. And I tell personally to myself that when you say the shlok, close your eyes and think you're sitting in the rath as Arjun, and Bhagavan Krishna is sitting as the charioteers in front of you, and you just say the shlok. You play that role, and you see that there is a teaching flowing. It will flow. The whole Bhagavad Gita will flow through. So that is the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. I just saying this is recently today happened, and I was very happy that a young girl got this, and now it touched her. So hopefully she will continue. So that's what Arjun is asking this question. Tell me what same question Arjun asked in the 7th chapter, where the Bhagavad Gita teaching started after that. Same question. Yat Shreyas Syat Nishchitam Bruhitam. Shreyas means which is good for me, not only for me, which will make good through me, if you have to say that way. Good through me means good for everyone, not just for me, because my good is my likes and dislikes, and then there's a problem, because likes and dislike is raga dvesh. It disturbs the mind. So greater good always. Shreyas means which is good for all. And that's what he's asking again. Shreyas, Kalyanakara, just which can help me to do something for everyone. That so Bhagavan ko again he says ki Shreyas, same thing he said there. Ki mujhe ek bataiye. Now he has said karmo ka sannyas. So there is a word. It's called sannyas here. And some people call it, some scholars call this chapter as sannyas yoga also, because Bhagavan is talking about karma sannyas. And sannyas, typically when we think sannyas, we immediately come to our mind, there is a orange robe, and there is some Swamiji in that dadi vadi badi hui aisa. The reason because that word is used, because this Bhagavad Gita, this teaching is very ancient. And that time, the society was divided like that. There is a brahmacharya ashram, there is a grahastha ashram, vanaprastha, and sannyas ashram. So there is a fourth segment or the part of the life where you become a sannyasi also. So abhi to aajkal zyada nahi hote hain, there are sannyasis, but that time the structure. So that's why Bhagwan is talk about ki. So Arjun ne socha ki Bhagwan says karma sannyas. So he says ki sannyasi ho jana hai. And that's where I think the question Arjun has come up with कि संन्यास हो जाना है या कर्म करना है. So a lot of translations, if you read modern translation, people say, oh, भगवान said कि no, गृहस्थ के लिए संन्यास नहीं, कर्म योग ठीक है. ऐसा भगवान ने कहीं नहीं कहा इसमें. But yeah, because we have to take that today's society, majority of us are grahast, and in fact all of us here are grahast. So Bhagwan has said to Arjun, and then we'll see the next slok. So the next slok Bhagwan is going to answer that. Shri Bhagwan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagwan Uvacha.
Sannyasah karma yogascha.
Sannyasah karma yogascha.
Nishreyas karavubho.
Nishreyas karavubho.
Tasyostu karma sannyasat.
Tasyostu karma sannyata.
Karma yogo vishishyate.
कर्म योगो विशेष्यते. श्री कृष्ण भगवान कहते हैं कर्म संन्यास और कर्म योग ये दोनों ही परम कल्याण के कराने वाले हैं, और इन दोनों में कर्म योग कर्म संन्यास से करने में सुगम होने के कारण श्रेष्ठ है.
Blessed Bhagwan said, both renunciation and yoga of action lead to supreme bliss, but of the two, yoga of action is superior to renunciation of action.
Yeah, so this shlok, we have to go back to say 5,000 years ago, and if we read this shlok. So one is karma sannyas, means you leave everything, and you have the gyan, and you sit and meditate. And it was not a wrong thing. Hamare rishi muni jo the, hamare tirthankar the, they used to go and sit in somewhere in the Himalaya or somewhere and do the sadhana. But they got what is Shreyas. So they are not doing sadhana for themselves. They are doing sadhana for the entire humanity. And that is the reason probably that spirituality flows in the Samaj, because of their some secluded place they are sitting, not just for their enjoyment. So that is a sannyas, ki aap sab chhod ke. So Bhagwan is saying here that ki dono, and the karma yoga means you are like, simple example is Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Swami Vivekananda and Mahatma Gandhi. They were spiritually elevated person, but Vivekanand had a saffron robe, sannyas, but Tilakji or Gandhiji, they were like us, simple clothes, but they were like sannyasis. So Bhagavan is saying ki whether you are engaged in karma or you leave karma or sit somewhere, do the parinam is same. Both you get the shanti, both you get जो भी किसी को भगवान जो भी नाम दें, ब्रह्मन की प्राप्ति, ब्रह्म ज्ञान या, but the result of both is same, Arjun. But why Bhagavan said? Because Bhagavan realized that Arjun is a grahast. So that's why a lot of translation we read when Bhagavan says grahast ke liye Bhagavan ne kahin nahi kaha, but that's a good interpretation. We are all grahast. So it is easy to absorb that message Bhagavan's. Otherwise you will say, अरे संन्यास अगर लेना है तो हम तो सन्यासी हो ही नहीं सकते. But Bhagavan says कि सन्यासी white robe में भी आप हो सकते हैं. And I think I'm not talking about 1,000 years. We have seen like 60, 70-year-old, 100 years ago. We had people like Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Mohandas Gandhiji, and one Gandhiji, when he used to do that his social work, and he used to travel across the country. A lot of, other than political, he had a lot of social work. Gandhiji, a lot of reforms he did. Wonderful. So he used to travel to the villages and help and people to uplift the society basically. So one of the sannyasi, his name was sannyasi, real sannyasi with Bhagwa Vastra. His name was Anand Swami. He came to Gandhiji. He said, I want to join you. आप इतनी सेवा काम करते हो, I want to come with you. तो गांधी जी बोला, you can come with me, but एक शर्त है. तो ये क्या शर्त है? आपको ये भगवा वस्त्र छोड़ना पड़ेगा. He said, क्यों? मैंने सन्यास लिया हुआ. बोले, नो, भारत का जनमानस सन्यासी से सेवा ले ही नहीं सकता. अगर आप जाओगे तो लोग आपकी सेवा करने लग जाएंगे. एंड इट्स अ फैक्ट. आप मंदिर में देखिए, यहाँ पर में आप देखिए अमेरिका में, इफ यू सी अ भगवा वस्त्रधारी, छोटे बच्चे भी हमारे आते हैं, प्रणाम कर लेते हैं. देयर इज अ भगवा वस्त्र, दैट्स इट. आपका सिर झुक जाता है साधु को देख के. तो गांधी जी बोले दैट इज नॉट गोइंग टू वर्क. एंड एक्चुअली आनंद स्वामी जी लेफ्ट हिज भगवा वस्त्र एंड पुट द वाइट clothes, and then he could do the seva. So सन्यासी ऐसा भी हो सकता है white वस्त्र. तो भगवान, that's what भगवान is saying कि दोनों का परिणाम एक ही. So Arjun, you don't worry too much about कि भगवा वस्त्र पहनूं या मैं चला जाऊं या ये काम करूं. You do this. भगवान ने अर्जुन को ऑप्शन ही नहीं दिया. You do युद्ध तस्मात् उत्तिष्ठ युद्धाय कृत निश्चय. ये अपना वॉर, अपना काम खत्म करो. So then the next shlok, Bhagavan continues in 4th, and he's defining sannyasi. Very, very, very succinct definition of a sannyasi. हम लोग को कई बार दिमाग में आता है कि सन्यासी कौन है. Wonderful definition of sannyasi in 3rd shlok. 3rd shlok, Bhagavan says, ज्ञेयः स नित्य सन्यासी.
ज्ञेयः स नित्य सन्यासी.
यो न द्वेष्टि न कांक्षति.
यो न द्वेष्टि न कांक्षति.
निर्द्वंदो हि महाबाहो.
निर्द्वंदो हि महाबाहो.
सुखम बंधान प्रमुच्यते.
सुखम बंधान न प्रमुच्यते. हे वीर अर्जुन, जो न किसी से द्वेष करता है, न किसी की आकांक्षा करता है, उस कर्मयोगी को सदा सन्यासी ही जानना चाहिए, क्योंकि राग द्वेष आदि द्वंद्वों से रहित पुरुष सुखपूर्वक संसार बंधन से मुक्त हो जाता है.
He should be known as a perpetual sannyasi who neither hates nor desires, for free from the pairs of opposites, O Mahabhava, he is easily set free from bondage.
Yeah, so now it's a very good definition of sannyasi. Sannyasi typical हमारे दिमाग में जाती है भगवा वस्त्र पहना हुआ कोई आदमी. No, भगवान is saying ज्ञेयः नित्य सन्यासी. Know that person to be sannyasi who यो न द्वेष्टि न कांक्षति. Dvesh means that aversion. People use the word hate sometimes, but hate is too crude. Aversion means a dislike or something you want to avoid. That is dvesh. And na kankshati. Kankshati means akanksha karna, ichha karna. So Bhagavan says कि इच्छा is again, whenever Bhagavan says kamana, Gita में इच्छा, शास्त्र हमारे बोलते हैं, we are talking about illegitimate desire. Yeah, natural desires, of course, like I have to eat. That's a desire to eat. That's a natural desire. But desire which is not natural, we just cross the boundary of natural desires. And that is Bhagavan saying that person is a sannyasi. Na dveshti, na kankshati, nirdvando hi mahabaho. Dvand means the duality, likes and dislikes. Again, garmi, sardi, always एक duality. तो जब कबीर दास जी का चलती चक्की देख कर दिया कबीरा रोए, दो पाटन के बीच में. So दो पाटन. Every time we are deluded, should I do this or should I do this? Is it right for me? It is not right for me. All this duality and the confusion is called dvand. And this person is above how? The clarity, vivek. The vivek means the wisdom, the power to discriminate, is a power to just get the right answer, the right choice, because you know what is right. So there is no confusion. So there is no dvand. There is no delusion that should I do this, because the vivek decides what is right is to be done. There is no question of should I do or not. And that is, and then Bhagavan says, Sukham bandhan pramuchyate. Sukh means यहाँ पर आनंद से मतलब है. And bandhan means, of course, the karma doesn't bind this person because he's very clear. And that is sannyasi. A wonderful definition of sannyasi. So that's what Bhagavan says sannyasi. Then next shlok he continues, the fourth shlok. Sankhya yogo pratagbalah
Sankhya yogo pratagwalaha
pravadanti na panditah
pravadanti na pandita
ekam vyapsit ekamapyastita samyag
ekamapyastita samyagub
ubayor vindate phalam.
उभयो विन्दति फलम. कर्म संन्यास और कर्म योग को अज्ञानी ही अलग अलग फल देने वाला कहते हैं, न कि ज्ञानी जन, क्योंकि दोनों में से एक में भी ठीक प्रकार से स्थित पुरुष दोनों के ही फल माने रूप परमात्मा को प्राप्त होता है.
Children, not the wise, speak of Sankhya and Yoga as different. He who is duly established in one obtains the fruit of both.
Yeah. So Bhagavan is saying, and earlier also he said, it doesn't matter you take a sannyas. The purpose of sannyasi is also same. त्यागा शांति अनंतरम. सन्यासी को पूछो तो क्यों सन्यास लिया, तो अगर उसको शांति नहीं तो उनका सन्यास बेकार है. वैसे बहुत सन्यासी मिल जाते हैं कि जिनको सन्यास लेने के बाद परेशान हो जाते हैं, तो then there is not सन्यास. और अगर आप कर्म में हो, I mean you are a karma yogi and you are doing what duty is assigned to you. Like for example, रामायण में अक्सर आता है कि when रामचंद्र जी, that's what he did, like he traveled across the country and और वो विश्वामित्री साथ भी गए, तो he slain lot of the demons, but कभी वो ऐसा नहीं होते थे खुश हो गए कि लक्ष्मण और राम जी नाच रहे हैं कि आज हमने ताड़का को मार दिया. नेवर सी दैट. वो अपना काम करके आके, और रामायण में तो बहुत अच्छा प्रसंग आता है. आई लव दैट. मतलब मैं उसको बहुत बार पढ़ता हूँ कि 16-year-old राम और लक्ष्मण, दे गो, ताड़का का वध किया उन्होंने पहली फर्स्ट, एंड द मैसेज, द श्लोक सेज कि दे कम बैक बाय इवनिंग एंड ही सेज टू विश्वामित्र जी, गुरुजी कैन वी डू संध्या वंदनम नाउ. ये बोला भी नहीं आके कि ताड़का को मार के आ गए. तो सेलिब्रेशन हो रहा है कि ताड़का को मार दिया, या जा रहे थे तो कोई डर रहे थे, कुछ नहीं, गए ताड़का को वध किया, आके संध्या वंदनम करने बैठे. And that is what Bhagavan is saying. And that is, so whether you do that work or you sit as a sannyasi or sit in the Himalaya, unless you get both of, the goal is Shanti, and you can have Shanti in both. So that's what Bhagavan Arjun को अभी बार-बार इसी बोलते हैं कि तेरे को तभी यही काम करना कर दिया. And that's the reason he is saying, probably for us all the message is that we have to be engaged in the world. We have to keep engaged in the family life or whatever we do. But don't forget that the goal is the Shanti. But if you are engaged in that whole work or karma, and then there are two things in karma. We always talk about like karma, karta, and karma phal. There are three things happen in the whole karma yoga. So karma, karta, and karma phal. So if karta is, most of the time our problem is that phal means you consume it. Phal means the fruit. You consume the fruit, right? So you become a consumer. So once you become a consumer, your focus goes toward the phal because you want to consume it. So you become bhokta. The moment you consume it, then you are responsible. कि वो अच्छा है खराब है then. So भगवान कहते हैं इसीलिए कर्म योग में कि the focus should be on the karma. फल तो आएगा ही. So this side is फल, बीच में कर्ता है. So कर्ता should focus on karma, not on फल. Yeah, then कर्ता will have shanti. Doesn't matter, right? And that's the whole teaching Bhagavad Gita, कर्म योग. So भगवान is saying कि both फल दोनों का एक ही है, फल शांति या जो भी उसमें नाम दिया वो विंदते परमात्मा, फल परमात्मा को याद करेंगे या शांति, एक ही चीज है, सच्चिदानंद परमात्मा. So भगवान is saying एक ही है. So we'll go to the next श्लोक. यत् सांख्ये प्राप्यते स्थानम
यत् सांख्ये प्राप्यते स्थानम
तद्योगैरपि गम्यते
तद्योगैरपि गम्यते
एकम सांख्यम च योगम च
एकम सांख्य च योगम च
यह पश्यति स पश्यति.
यह पश्यति स पश्यति. ज्ञान योगियों द्वारा जो गति प्राप्त की जाती है, कर्म योगियों द्वारा भी वही प्राप्त की जाती है. इसलिए जो पुरुष ज्ञान योग और कर्म योग को एक देखता है वही ठीक देखता है.
That state which is reached by the Sankhyas is reached by the yogis also. He who sees Sankhya and Yoga as one, he sees.
Yeah, it's the same thing. He says that कि but पहले हो चुके हैं कि जो अलग अलग देखते हैं, they are bala, they are like ignorant people, they are not wise people, they are like childish. So if you have discussion, कई बार discuss करते हैं लोग ऐसा, इस पे बहुत सारे, तो भगवान ने तो वैल्यू इस पे discuss करोगे तो you are like a child. So a wise person doesn't discuss because they have the same result. Only thing you don't know, so you have not realized. So भगवान says कि either you take संन्यास और कर्म योग. So ज्ञान और कर्म दोनों से same परिणाम आता है. So don't even get into argument. Try to understand that. So that's what he's saying. So we'll go to 6 slok because we have to read 7 also, right? Sannyaasastu mahabaho
संन्यासस्तु महाबाहो
dukham maptum yogatah
दुःखम् आप्तुमयोगतः
yoga yukto munir brahma
योगयुक्तो मुनिर्ब्रह्म
nachirana adhigacchati.
उचिरेणाधिगच्छति. परंतु हे वीर अर्जुन, कर्मयोग के बिना संन्यास कठिन है और कर्मयोग में स्थित मुनि परम ब्रह्म को शीघ्र ही प्राप्त हो जाता है.
See? Okay, go ahead, Shripaji.
Yeah. But renunciation, O Mahabhava, is hard to attain without yoga, that is the action. A sage well established in yoga attains Brahm ere long.
Yeah. So now he's saying for Arjun now that there is, he's saying कि for you, because he asked कि मेरे लिए क्या ठीक है, तो आप भगवान कह रहे हैं तेरे लिए ही ठीक है, क्योंकि it becomes, the sannyas become easy through karma yoga, because through karma yoga you become stronger. It's like you, अब उसमें बहुत सारे description लोग उसमें आत्मशुद्धि होती है, and there are lot of, but simple is that if you do karma yoga with the karma yoga, again the simple definition of karma yoga, it is the change of attitude. गीता पढ़ने वाले को काम तो सबको वही करना है. Only thing गीता changes is the attitude. काम तो सभी करते हैं. कर्म is there, कर्ता is there, कर्म फल is there. Nobody can say that I don't have. These three are there, always there. It doesn't matter you are selfish or, the only thing, the attitude, when it changes from self-centered to selflessness, then it karma becomes karma yoga. It's that simple. श्रेयस, जब तक मैं अपने लिए करता रहूंगा मुझे फल रहेगा, तब तक कर्म योग नहीं बनता है. देन कर्म बांधता है, कर्म बंधन. The moment that selflessness comes in that, then karma bandhan becomes karma yoga. It's that simple. So that's what Bhagavan is saying, ki once you understand that whole formula, then it's very, you become sannyasi. Forget about you don't have to do sannyas. We'll just take one example and move to the next slok. कुंभ मेले में there is a कुंभ मेला in Bharat, and the कुंभ मेला होता है, वो प्रोसेशन निकलता है, बड़े बड़े साधु सन्यासी होते हैं, उनके देह इंडिया में मठ होते हैं, their ashram, so they sit on the rath, and सन्यासी लोग रथ पे निकलते हैं, उनकी सवारी टाइप. So one of the Allahabad Kumbh Mela में there was a rath going on, and there is one person sitting with white dress, not a sannyasi, with sannyasis. So everybody was surprised कि ये तो सन्यासी ही बैठते हैं. There is a there is an umbrella and all those things and Simhasan type. Only sannyasis can sit there. So one person was sitting with white dress. And somebody said, who is that person? And that was Ashok Singalji. He was one of the stalwart Hindu. I mean, he was one of my guru. So he was, and everybody was, even the media was surprised. So किसी को पूछा तो सन्यासी लोगों ने बोला कि हमने इनको बिठाया है अपने साथ. He is a better sannyasi than many of us. Doesn't matter he is in white dress. So that is, so that's what Bhagwan is saying here. कि कर्म से सन्यासी होते हो, सिर्फ भगवा वस्त्र पहनने से सन्यासी नहीं होते. Many example we have. So we'll read 7 shlok at least, for at least that part we can complete today. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma.
योग्य युक्तो विशुद्धात्मा.
Vijitatma jitendriyah.
विजितात्मा जितेन्द्रियः.
Sarvabhutatma bhutatma.
सर्वभूतात्मा भूतात्मा.
Kurvannapi na lipyate.
कुर्वन्नपि न लिप्यते. अपने मन को वश में करने वाला, जितेंद्रिय, विशुद्ध अंतःकरण वाला और सभी प्राणियों को अपना आत्मस्वरूप मानने वाला कर्मयोगी कर्म करता हुआ भी उससे लिप्त नहीं होता.
वाह, बहुत प्यारा श्लोक है, बहुत प्यारा.
He who is united by yoga, who has purified and conquered the self, subdued his senses, who realizes self as the self in all beings, is not tainted although acting.
We will go more detail next time when we meet, but at least we'll touch them. So one thing happens, it's a very powerful word, sarva bhutatma bhutatma. Means this person is seeing जो मेरे अंदर है वो आप सामने वाले के, जिस दिन ये समझ में आ गया, you become a sannyasi. And that is our weakness, right? Because I'm so self-centered, पहले मेरा होना चाहिए. And that is the weakness. So Bhagavan is saying, we'll go one word by word next time, but the key word here is Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. I am consciousness, so you are. It's like that. मैं किसी के सामने भी जाता हूँ तो there is an incident. Then we'll stop here. There was an American press report. It's a true thing. Press reporter went to India, to Rishikesh or somewhere, and there was one Swamiji. Typically people call Swamiji sometimes Bhagwan बोलने लगते हैं, उनको आप ही भगवान हैं. वो भी बोलते थे हम ब्रह्मास्मि, मैं ही ब्रह्म हूँ. So this press reporter asked, this is a very arrogant statement, right? I just want to discuss with you. He said, what? He said, you say you are God. I heard that your people say, and then I have heard you saying Aham Brahmasmi. So you are God? And typically a Western mind cannot accept, right? वो तो आपको मार देंगे. You are God. You will be punished to the death. Like there are traditions, they'll kill you. So he said, you're saying you're God? तो वो स्वामी जी थे, उन्होंने वहां से उसने बोला, yeah. Are you sure you're God? He said, yeah. So you are. That's it. Then he became actually a disciple. बाद में उनके disciple बोले यार इतना confidence उन्होंने बोला कि he became his disciple. That's why Steve Jobs went to India. So yeah, so I'm God, so you are. And that's what he's saying. Sarva bhutatma bhutatma. जो मेरे अंदर है वो ये सबके अंदर है. And that is sannyasi. So we'll continue with that definition next week. We'll meet because we'll address that question and a little bit of Shraddhanjali for our Mohanji and Sharmaji. So I'll stop here and then.